Yeah, 2010, about 11 years ago now. But cricket is so close to my heart. I love the sport with a passion, and I'm extremely passionate about women's sport, women's cricket. And I really feel that when I was presented with the opportunity of being in a position where I could impact the sport, I really felt that was a great opportunity for me. Also, the feeling that I feel and I owe the sport back, because it's a sport and the country that's given me everything and made me who I am today. So, I grabbed the opportunity with by the scruff of the neck in terms of making a difference. More importantly, also going or growing through the sport in its inception phases, where literally there was absolutely no support and not a lot of recognition. Obviously, the women's sport wasn't valued enough. I knew exactly what the hurdles and the obstacles or the challenges the players face, and how what we can do to take the women's game forward. So I really felt it was a perfect opportunity to me, and I really feel that we made a huge difference. So for me, it was a very interesting experience, a very good one, but a different one, obviously, because I'm used to being on the ground, there and thereabout in the front. But this was more of obviously an administrative role in taking the lead on women's cricket from a holistic approach and taking it forward. But I really feel we made tremendous strides forward. It was also one of the things that was important was to work closely with your team, your allied departments, the coaching staff, and obviously the team and the captain as well. And I thoroughly enjoyed my tenure because all of the improvement that we've been able to make during these past couple of years has been because of strong relations with the captain, with the coaching staff, and with the board. And the collective vision was obviously to grow the women's sport. One of the main pillars on that strategic plan was women's cricket, and the aim and the tagline for that strategic plan for women's cricket is basically to inspire our nation through our women's game. And that goes to show and say a lot about what the PCB intends with the women's game, and obviously growing it and valuing it. And we continue to heavily invest in that. And I really feel we've checked a lot of boxes, we've ticked off a lot of to dos on that vision statement to make it a possibility. There'll always be challenges and things that we can improve on, but we're heading in the right direction, and we've definitely come a long way in improving the women's sport and women's cricket in Pakistan. The 5 year strategy that we put together was a long term plan that we had, and obviously had a wider scope from grassroots to development to academies and the national team itself. But as you and I are well aware of the challenging and unprecedented circumstances that COVID puts up, not just for us but globally, it definitely impacted that plan heavily. But we've tried to do the best we can in terms of coping with the situation. I mean, we have all probably come to terms with the fact that we will all have to coexist with COVID and take necessary precautionary measures. But I really feel we from the COVID support policy that we came out with in August last year, which supported the players through the pandemic for a period of time, increasing the remuneration on central contracts, adding an emerging contract category as well during the pandemic, including obviously having a new panel of coaching staff now led by David Hemp from Australia. And recently, you must have seen the PCB parental support policy, which is, I think, absolutely fantastic. It's hugely important that we cater to both parents, and more importantly, it allows our women cricketers to stay in the long game for longer. They obviously have sureties of their contract. So, and even the amount of camps that we've been able to hold in a biosecure environment, I just feel that the Pakistan Cricket Board has done a lot in spite of the challenges of COVID. But obviously, there was obviously an impact on the progress and the rate of progress that we could have moved forward with. For me, the parental support policy is a feather in the cap. I'm really proud of it We managed to announce it so very quickly after Bisma announced the wonderful news that she was going to take a break from cricket to lean into motherhood now. And let's be honest, it was just the right thing to do. Just not for a not even just for a female cricketers, but even from a male cricketer's point of view, families are important, and these guys give their heart and soul all throughout the year. They sweat it out for the green badge. So I'm really proud of the fact that it came through. The board was very quick to jump onto it, and also it's something very close to my heart because when I was playing, I just felt that there wasn't enough off the field support, and I've really felt this a lot in 2016 when I was for the first time I was on the national selection committee as the only female then. I had an 8 month old, and it was really, really difficult. And I struggled a lot with making things happen. And just from a working mother point of view who has a child, I think this is fantastic now. It just allows our women to stay in the game for longer with their central contracts assured. So it's just fantastic. So from the very, very beginning, I've had a very strong opinion on central contracts, and I've said this time and again quite clearly and quite sort of openly that central contracts are something to be earned and valued, and we shouldn't really be just handing out central contracts. And I understand there's a fine line between taking care of your players, but also central contracts are the pinnacle of wearing the green star. It is something which should be valued. It is something which determines the best from the rest, really. And I really feel the culture that we're trying to now inculcate into our system is working. Um, there was definitely a point where almost half the players that were playing in the core national group who had central contracts. So that's the culture that we're trying to change. And the last time we added nine emerging contracts, which were again from that a younger lot players who are coming up the ranks, who we saw potential in, and most of them are part of our team, part of our squads, and I think we've made a very good decision on that. And with the increased amount of performances that the Pakistan team continues to deliver, the more matches we win, the more match winners we produce, that number of central contracts category will keep increasing and improving. Look, for me, the most important thing is what is required at the moment, or what is the combination that is best suited at the time. And it's very important to strike a very good balance between the exuberance of youth and your experienced players. But also, we can't live in the past. We can't live on history. History or the past is a good place of reference, but not a good place of precedence. So we can't really live from that, but we still need to make good decisions which are fruitful, or which your team will benefit from. So and you've seen in the past couple of years there's been a lot of influx of youngsters into our Pakistan squad, not just because a change was required, or not just because we had to make that change, just because the youngsters that come in through the ranks were actually good, and were actually fit for the level that we were looking at them. And it's obviously, again, like I'm saying, it's learning in progress all the time. So it's we try and strike a good balance. We look at what the team requires. We also look at the current form of the players, which is very important, and then we try and bank on producing as many match winners that we can, just to give our unit the strongest possible chance to win. See, look, we've obviously seen the countries excel at rapid paces and improve, and it's about the rate of progression as well. That's something that we're trying to catch up with by improving the amount of competitive cricket that our players play, improving the time that they spend together, and improving and learning from the best practices in the world as well. Um, but I really feel that there's very, very limited gaps between the rungs of the ladder on the way to the top, and there are small differences that separate teams. But we do have the core group of players who possess the skill is just about where we stand with the rest of the world in terms of mental strength and toughness there. Our squad has shown glimpses of brilliance. Is just about converting them into more consistent performances to get over the line. And trust me, winning is a habit. And once we get into the habit, the rate of progression for us will be much faster. So interesting times ahead. A lot of cricket to look forward to, and hopefully for us climb up that ladder. Well, I see Pakistan women's cricket only growing from strength to strength from here. We've laid a wonderful platform from where it can take off, and we will continue to improve in every aspect on and off the field that we can. Provide a holistic approach to the growth of women's game. We continuously go to heavily invest in the women's sport, and I very soon see it making a tremendous impact on the global stage, where we would like to present ourselves as strong contenders for any tournament and series that we play.